fish that are so abundant here.
Okay.
All right, Carl. I don't want to get much closer since this rock is coming out towards us.
Yeah, where would you like me to be positioned here? What are you thinking?
This tether, unfortunately, isn't really working with us.
I could go to the other side of the rock. That might help.
No, it's...
Okay.
I think if you back up some real quick.
Okay, back toward you?
No, just straight aft.
Okay.
Kind of force the tether to come that way and then come back towards me.
Okay, I see.
Right? We'll kind of encourage the tether to go out that direction.
All right.
So make it fast. Just
pushing forward.
Back.
You want more?
Push back.
All
Just
right.
go off
All right.
my screen real quick.
Okay. We'll have a beauty shot that emerges from the darkness, Carl. Okay.
All right. Now you can come in on me, and hopefully the tether will keep tending that way. And we'll just have you keep laddering around the front.
Okay.
All right. We'll start lateraling left.
All right. It's not really.
There you go. Looking good, Dan.
Should I hang out here until we know that they're alive? Should we hang out here until we know they're live? First. Okay. So they're going to be watching Sirius camera. They're going to be watching the Sirius camera here.
Coming up a little bit.
Okay.
With those heaves.
Shoreside science on OKEX.
Can you turn and face me, see what's below me?
Sure.
I think it's just
you guys
slope,
want to continue to talk on OKEX to sort of describe what we're seeing, if we're seeing anything?
This is just
OKEX is still broadcasting on the
engineering
primary
view. I just want to see what's
broadcast
below me
as well as
in case
being
I come
recorded.
down. Sure. Pretty sure it's just mud. Video, can you help us pull out? Yeah. Yeah, it's just all mud. There's one little rock there, but a couple little rocks, but they're pretty far down, and I think they're pretty small.
So on that view of Sirius, you'd want to rotate Sirius 90 degrees.
We're doing what we can. Okay, you probably want to stop coming towards me.
Okay. Backing up.
Hang out a meter or so.
Actually, I think my back end's just in the mud and I'm staying steady. So.
I don't show up at all if I do that.
Yeah, that'd keep the top lights on.
You want me to just stay here? Move around a little bit when they come live.
Yeah, I think you should continue to sort of look around and find cool
Yeah, I
stuff.
think you can keep going.
Okay.
Because it'll be a
Comfortable
while.
with what's below me.
Okay.
And we'll just get...
Negative. For the live event, they're only seeing stream 3, which would be a camera that I'll be switching around. I've got switching back and forth between Sirius and ROV and control room. So depending on what's going on and what you guys get us.
Survey 2.
All right, well, inch towards me, Dan, and then have you face back towards the rock.
Hey, Roland, can you ask Annie to clip out some of the Sirius view? If she isn't already, I'm sure she is, but... Okay, pushing forward slowly.
Yeah. Bring my heading back towards you a little bit. We're on the Sirius view right now, video. Alright, let's get you to, I think, turn around and
Okay.
Start heading back to where you were.
Okay.
I need to, my tether's coming in, I'm pulling up.
Okay, coming back. Nice and slow. Kick up sediment.
Well, Bruce, at least we're looking up into the water column.
Alright, let's get you to kind of back up.
Yeah, that's
and,
true. If there were
turn right
Nautilus
at the
up
same
there, we
time.
might see those. So I'm getting a couple of different emails from Greg Berard, and then I'll have to read those. He was saying that the Nautilus may use these large boulders more as
A little
orientation
bit of
points
F too, to get that tether
for
back.
home ranges rather than shelter. So we'll just have to keep looking when we have a chance.
Perfect.
Ready to push ahead.
Line up with you.
That's funny. I'm getting different responses from different experts about the potential response to the ROV. One person says that the Nautilus are positively phototactic, attracted to lights. Doesn't think that the ROV would bother them. Another person says that they would probably avoid the lights, but they wouldn't necessarily be disturbed by the noise or vibrations from the ROV, which probably just indicates how little we know about the actual behavior of Nautilus in their natural habitat.
I'd prefer if you lateraled right, but
Okay. Yeah, I can. I just
yeah.
think I can kind of stay here. I won't go to the side of it. I'll just stay in front of it, but there's just some creatures on the rock.
Was there nothing to the right?
There wasn't a whole lot.
Alright, Carl, let's do a move then. Let's go 5 meters to port. Yeah, 225. Yeah, to stay on this rock, but
We're seeing
just
more of these
get
little
that
deep
way a
water
little bit so
cardinal
you can
fishes,
come around.
probably the same little group that we've been watching for a while here.
10 meters, 5 meters, something small.
On this large boulder. You'd think that those little fishes would probably form
Or we can maybe stay right here if
some
he...
larger predatory fishes,
you
maybe
spin
even
your-
sharks at this depth.
I could pull the tether back. Yeah. Okay. We could do the same thing and kind of push it back and then reapproach.
Have you guys explored around the rock to see what beauties are there?
Okay, how's that? And I'll push forward a bit.
And so it's unclear to me if we're staying in this area because of the outreach event that's going on, or for other reasons with ROV control. But it would be nice to move on to other areas if we could.
You want to zoom in? Okay. I'll try not to move too fast.
This is an interesting observation. What you're looking at is one of the really bizarre amphipods crustacean that attacks salps, sort of gelatinous zooplankton, starts eating them and then uses remnants of the salps to construct a house. The amphipod lives inside of the house. The females will have eggs that hatch, and the young will eat this house eventually. And it's a really remarkable bit of behavior on this part of this planktonic animal. The amphipod is a really bizarre creature with large claw-like appendages, and is kind of a model for some of the deep-sea monsters that show up in the movies sometimes. The genus of the amphipod is Sporonema. There you can see these claw-like appendages that I was referring to, along with the tail with the swimming appendages.
Go and zoom in.
But it's a really remarkable behavior of how this amphipod preys on the salps and then constructs a house out of parts. The amphipod also has the black eyes that you can see and almost a skull-shaped head. It's a really frightening-looking animal. If they're very small, but if they were larger, they'd be extremely scary.
Okay, we'll let him go. I know. That's cool. Yep.
Well, the little fish on the bottom is another duckbill fish. Again, we see those often, so it's not remarkable enough to spend time zooming. Just keep going if we can. So I don't know if it's possible with the outreach event going on. We spent a lot of time at this one boulder and kind of covered it pretty thoroughly. It would be nice to keep moving to survey other areas.
Yeah, Carl here on nav. We just finished up the 10 minutes. No, we just finished up the 10 minutes of Zooms that we were doing for the live event. So now we're going to move on, continue upslope and find a new boulder or see what we can see.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, this looks like it could be a bit of fishing line or debris from fishing.
Okay, the ROV is moving to the north. We have gone 150 meters towards waypoint 2, and we have 100 meters left. And depth is 410 meters.
Bruce, that's a Budweiser eye, isn't it?
Could be by Lima, I don't know, but I don't know if that comes in cans, so maybe Budweiser, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're seeing more epigonus, more deep water cardinal fish.
Yeah, so Les and Emily made the comment that usually you see Budweiser eye aggregating in groups of 6 to 12.
Sometimes 24.
Yeah, that's right. That would be a big aggregation.
So it looks like we're staying about the same depth as we move along. I assume we're on the terrace, on the flat place, and making progress toward an area where we get to more shallow water. So, Chris, can you comment about the coral?
Yeah, we were just discussing it here at the UHECC because Les Watling is here along with Natalie Summers, so they're both coral folks. And so we think this is not necessarily an Enelopsamia, even though it has yellow color. It's different than the other yellow one, and it could be perhaps in the genus Dendrophilia. We're pretty sure it's in the family Dendrophiliidae, and that's about it right now. I think it's the same one we collected on a previous dive. So Tina had suggested madrepora, and it's pretty obvious why. Just the way the polyps come off of those branches looks very madrepora-like. But if it is madrepora, it's quite different than some of the other madreporas that we've imaged in the past few years.
I guess this is a squat lobster burrow or shrimp burrow.
Yeah, we thought it was a flatfish at first.
Did look like it from a distance. Yeah, so this looks like rubble coming from an upslope area with rocks that has a steeper gradient, but then I'm not a geologist. Just guessing. There's a little fish under a rock at the upper left that's a different kind of fish. It's under the smaller rock at the top of the large one on the left center.
Yeah, you might get a better shot of it, Bruce. There's another one coming out of the hole up the upper part of the frame to the right corner.
So the one that just swam by was a splendid perch in the genus Grammatinotus. Unfortunately, this one's too far back under the rock to really tell, but I suspect that this is also another Grammatinotus. Now, this is definitely Grammatinotus, splendid perch. These are tricky to identify, probably some undescribed species. This looks similar to one that we've seen, the type that we've seen in the Marianas and also in the Hawaiian Islands, but it may be that juveniles of different species look alike.
Okay, we're spinning D2 just to look out into the water column. We have a good view of the water column with Sirius, but just using this camera also, looking off for Nautilus.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's worthwhile looking around in different areas, different parts of the habitat. The general thought, though, among the people who study these is that they would be closer to the bottom rather than out in the open water.
Understood.
Now, having said that, the observations previously of the Nautilus are from baited cameras and traps, which are placed on the bottom, so the Nautilus would be attracted down to where the bait is. So looking for natural behavior is a real exploration, and we're not sure what we might find if we do find the Nautilus.
Well, we'll keep scanning the seafloor like normal, and every once in a while turn and look at the water column. Make sure they're not swimming around behind us.
Sounds good. That's always the suspicion. You know, that's the good thing about having the Sirius view, though. Sometimes we actually do see that with larger fish or sharks.
Starfish lower left. Cup coral right.
Now it looks like we're seeing some pieces of broken fossil coral occasionally now as part of this rubble. looks like more fishing line on the bottom.
There's an onaga or something in the background, big fish.
Yeah, Chris, it does look like an onaga, the long streamers on the tail. This is great. This is one of the things we're looking for. So that big snapper that swam past is Palucina or Paluloa in Samoa. And this is a splendid perch, genus Grammatinotus.
So, Bruce, is it okay to point out lost fishing line?
Yeah, we're in a area near a populated area and a place where fishing does occur. And all around the world, when you have that, you do see lost fishing here. So we're seeing a little bit of that. I think we've seen a couple of bits of lost fishing line. So that's the difference between doing a survey like this close to a populated area, populated island, and these very isolated seamounts that we've been working in the past few days where there aren't people. We expect to see a little bit more of the debris or remnants of human activity in the ocean. There's very few parts of the ocean now that are free of debris, of human-generated debris.
Yeah, no, I was just checking because I wasn't sure whether we're allowed to talk trash on a live broadcast. Sorry. That was such a bad joke, it left you speechless, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
That was a setup.
Yeah, it was. He was answering that seriously, and I'm waiting to get on with my punchline.
Yeah, you need to get a better straight man, Chris. So a little fish over to the left center that's lighter colored and maybe a different thing.
Yeah, Bruce, I think it might have just been another one of the Okeanos that the light was hitting a little differently.
Okay, that sounds reasonable, although it looked a little longer, thinner, and shinier, but it could have just been the angle and the light.
So we've found the cliff beginning in sonar. We're slowly approaching it. Looks like it should rise about 100 meters vertically in front of us.
Yeah, let's work our way slowly up this and see what we see. Because if we go fast, we'll cover a lot of territory. Maybe too quickly, but maybe there'll be some interesting things as we proceed upwards.
Copy that.
What's the two objects inside that crack?